courtesy. And position. Student creed.
I develop myself physically and mentally, based on moral life and spirit. I will only fight to protect my life and the lives of others. I achieve my full potential because I'm being straight.
Line of problems to go.
Black belt excellence today.
Coach attention. Power courtesy. Grab jump rope, just
Yes, ma'am.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start jumping.
Yeah.
Always do it before class. These should be the good. There you go. Hey, when I go up, speak up. Keep those feet moving. And time. Set the left side. Okay, I'll give you a minute. Set the trunk rope down. Set the left side. Karate combination number 1. Go. Turn number 2. Go. Turn number 3. Go. Turn number 4. Go. Turn number 4. Go. Turn number 3. Go. Turn number 2. Go. Turn number 1. Go. Turn number 1. Go. Turn number 1. Go. Turn number 2. Promise. Not your promise. Wow. Jump rope.
Ma'am.
I specifically said not to drag your toes. 3, 2, 1, jump.
Ma'am.
And time goes set your rope to the side. Yes, ma'am?
Ma'am.
Set to left side. Ow! Taekwondo. Combination number 1. Go. Turn 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 number 2. Go. Turn number 2. Go. Turn number 2. Go. Turn number 3. Go. I love it. Turn number 3. Go. Turn number 4. Go. Side kick. Step behind side kick. Back leg round kick. Back hand back fist. Back leg round kick. Turn number 4. Go. Step behind side kick. And grab your rope. Sit down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jump.
Ma'am.
Here we go. Keep those feet moving. Keep those feet moving. Keep going, guys. Keep the speed moving. Keep the speed moving. Keep jumping. Keep jumping. Keep jumping. Don't let yourself stop. Keep going. You want a steady pace. Steady pace. Consistent pace. Don't stop. Don't try to push yourself. And time to set those reps to the side. Yes, ma'am? So close to kickboxing. Kickboxing. Combination number 1. Go. Oh, man. Turn number 2. Number 2. Go. Pressy kick. Lunge punch. Reverse good front side. Back punch. Turn number 3. Number 3. Go. Back this kick to your side and back this back button. Turn number 3 again. Say it and do it. Say it and do it. Number 3. Kickboxing. Go. Say it and do it. Number 3. Go. Turn number 4. Say it and do it. Go. Turn number 4. Go. And reset, yes, ma'am. Get your hands above your head, reach your toes. And back up. So we're going to be doing something a little different today. We're going to reach for our toes, and then we're going to immediately reach up for the sky. We're just going to keep it going up and down. But make sure it's a stretch every single time. Yes, ma'am?
Ma'am.
Up and down. Nice and slow.
Ma'am.
Getting your stretch, but not holding the stretch.
Ma'am.
And feet to shoulders apart.
Ma'am.
Reach for the middle. This time we're going to go side to side, not holding the stretch, but making sure we maintain the stretch. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
You should feel this in the back of your legs as you do it. Go.
Ma'am.
Staying down. Kieran, Taylor, just make sure both of your feet are just slightly apart. Slightly shoulder. There you go. Slightly bigger than your shoulders. And time.
Ma'am.
Have a seat. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Feet nice and high. Reach for your toes. Reach for your toes. Reach for your toes. Reach for your toes. And bring them in. Butterfly. Actually flap them now.
Ma'am.
Getting our hips moving as we do this. Yes. Yes. That's exactly what we're doing today. All right, everybody say positive self-expectation.
Positive self-expectation.
And goals attainment.
And goals attainment.
I said it's expectation, but it's expectancy. But that's okay. They're the same word, just different endings. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
You expect great things out of yourself, and you know you're going to achieve your goals. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Long run. Actually, sorry. You guys already know what this is, so let's see. Self-fulfilling prophecy. What does that mean? Life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Logan, go ahead and stay stretching for me. Do what we're doing, but tell me your answer. We're doing active stretching, so everybody make sure you're still moving.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Self-fulfilling prophecy means?
Like trying to achieve your goals.
Trying to achieve your goals. Give them a clap. There you go. Life is self-fulfilling. If you think something's going to happen, it's going to happen. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I wake up in the morning, I stub my toe. Oh my goodness. Today's going to be the worst day ever. So of course, Since I said today's going to be the worst day ever, I get in my shower, and guess what? There's a spider. Oh my gosh. Then I get out, and I forgot to grab a darn towel. Oh, now there's no towel. Now there's no clothes to wear. Oh, I already said today's going to be a terrible day. Everything's good. That's where I'm thinking. It's self-fulfilling. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Winners usually get what he or she actively expect over the long run. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Actively expect. What does that mean? They actively expect. Maddox.
Actively expect is when what they expect really.
Actively expect is what you expect. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
But you're active about it. If you're expecting it to happen, you're not just sitting back.
Yes.
I expect to reach my splits, and I'm going to do it doing this. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I actively expect it, so I'm going to actively work for it. Yes, ma'am?
Yes,
ma'am.
In fact, everybody, legs nice and wide.
Ma'am.
Reach into the middle, and then back up.
Ma'am.
Middle, and back up. Active stretching today. There you go. Actively expecting things over the long run. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
For a long run means it's not going to happen tomorrow. I'm not going to actively expect to be in the splits, and I've practiced my splits for one full day and be in the splits tomorrow. That's not the way it works. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
That's not the way anything works that you got to work for. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Long run. It takes a while to accomplish that goal. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Bring your legs in.
Ma'am.
Lay back. Knees out wide like you're trying to swim like a frog.
Yes, ma'am.
And stand up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hip one way, then the other.
Yes, ma'am.
Set your left side out. Out.
Put it.
Kickboxing combination number 1. Go. Don't make me uncomfortable. Turn.
Ma'am.
Number 2. Number 2. Go. Okay. 1.
Hurry. Hurry.
Turn. Number 3. Go.
Hurry. Hurry.
Turn.
Ma'am.
Number 4. Go.
Hurry.
Ow! Stop your spin. We'll be back in this one. And put on your pads. 1.5 minutes. Go.
Yes, ma'am.
One minute has passed.
Ma'am.
One minute. 1 minute, 22 seconds. 1 minute, 24 seconds. 20, 25. And that's 1:30. Everybody set to left side. Kickboxing combination number 1. Go. Turn. Number 2. Go. Press and kick. Lunge punch. Turn. Number 3. Go.
All right.
on your toes. Turn. Number three, go. All right, everybody make circle on the side of the floor. Go, yes, ma'am? Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Crane is one of our judges. First 3 wins the round. Yes, ma'am? First 3 points is going to win the round. So Mr. Crane is one of our judges. Wherever you choose as a judge. As a judge, you have freedom of movement.
They don't just sit in the corners?
They don't have to. It is up to them as a personal opinion whether that's. So rules for judges. It's up to the judge, personal opinion, whether or not they're going to stay where they're going to stay, or if they're going to move. I'm a very active judge. I will move. If I'm center, if I'm side, if I don't feel like I can see what's going on, I'm going to move. Yes, ma'am? They will definitely start out in the side. Yes, ma'am? And they're more easily to identify.
While you wait, can you bounce on your toes?
All right. How do you call points?
Let's see.
So.
Telling you frozen.
Zero.
The earn points.
Yes.
So the amount of points we're getting.
Correct. You point
Oh,
to the
no,
side
you-
that earns the points. Yes, ma'am?
Jump onto.
I don't. Oh, gosh. No points. This is called no points. No confirmation. Yes, ma'am?
Okay, you guys are gonna do some solo training since you're not able to be in a ring. You're just gonna work on some drills so that you're working on your skills for Saturday. This is what you can do if you get back to your ring early. So they say you've got your minute and then you come back. These are some of the things you can do in order to do that. So first thing that I want you to do is your movement. So I want you to imagine this little square that I'm in. Say that's my ring. My old instructor used to say you want to try and touch every part of the ring. So all I want you guys to do, get used to your moving. You're going to be here and you're just going to move around. Forward, back, left, right. I want you to circle as if your opponent is in the middle of you, so you're making a circle around them. Make a circle the other way.
Like this. I'll show you real fast. Like this.
Just move every which way that you might move, switching your legs. You're going to do it for 30 seconds. Ready and go. As you move, make sure that you are, pause real fast. Let me say this before you move. As you guys move, I want you to be thinking about your opponent's target, not where your chest is. So if I'm moving like this, I'm saying hit me. So I want to be moving where my shoulder is aimed. Where my shoulder is aimed, because that's where I'm about to strike. So I always need to be making sure I'm moving that way. Ball.
Next ball. I can't tell who's calling what. You saw a pick, so how many points you hold on? Okay, looks like that.
10 seconds.
2 points over here. Ready? And fight. Right.
All right, and time.
All right, 1 point here. That's
All right.
3
What I would recommend is 2 ways that you can work on your combinations or you work on your moves, whether it's a single move or multiple, is you want to have something that's offensive, an offensive version, meaning you're advancing, and you want to have something that's retreating, something that you're moving away. So for example, if I take a side kick, I have my slide in side kick, which is offensive, and then I have a fade side kick, which is defensive. They are the same move, but they have somebody attacks, say with a back fist, that leaves that open. So that's when I would throw my defensive side kick. Somebody has their hand up and I see that it's there, that's where my offensive one might come in. So I want you to take whatever you want your number 1 move is, and we're gonna do 30 seconds of offensive of that. So Again, if I'm taking that side kick, I'm going to start bouncing around, and I'm going to practice throwing it, sliding forward. I'm going to practice as I'm moving around. Oh, then I had to throw it there. I just want an off. Every time you throw the technique, you should have moved forward with it. 30 seconds. Go.
And
It does not have to be a side kick. That's just what I chose. You want to use the move that you know you're going to throw a lot. The one that you like throwing.
And Maddie. I know you really wanted to do this. Oh, yeah, actually, yes. You'll get your turn. All right, attention. Bow. Touch. Ready?
Ready?
And start. Right. Next pop. How many points is that? 2. All right, 2 points over here. And start. Right.
And time. All right, now take that same move and you're going to throw it retreating. You all know how to do retreating moves because we do it in American Karate number. Oh, I'm thinking of something else. American Taekwondo is our fades. So if my move is that side kick, I fade, side kick. If I was throwing a back fist, I might fade, back fist. I might fade, ridge hand. The only one that you might want to try to avoid is something that's like a fade front punch or a fade back punch, only because they're counterintuitive motions. If I'm going to do a fade back punch, then I might want to block first as I step back. If I'm gonna fade front punch, then I want to make sure I have my face at least covered, but recognize that that opens up my belly. So just keep that in mind. Now you're gonna do 30 seconds of the fade movement. So fade round kick would look like that. Fade side kick would look like that. Whatever it is, 30 seconds of your move retreating now. Ready and go.
Now.
You don't want to argue.
Now.
All right, guys. Oh,
Now.
If you're doing a fade back punch, don't lean. You want to keep your body upright.
Mr. Burtley,
Yes, Miss Taylor.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
Can I do a back like something?
Yes, there's no rules against it. It just might make it harder. So if you do something that's back leg, all I want you to try and do is think of like a little hop. So if I'm gonna do, say, a retreating, one that we used to teach or one that I learned when I was younger was a round kick. So rather than going step round kick, which is kind of slow, I want you to think of a little mini hop and kick, a little mini hop, something like that. But back legs can work. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
And start.
Oh.
And just up. All right, 1 point over here. 2 points. Winner. Attention back to Steve. Maddie, come on in. Azela. You're done. Don't far out. Attention. Down. Touch. And ready?
Ready.
What happened to the cheering? We can do other things. Freeze.
Now.
You're not the judge to stand up. Can you stand?
Now.
Put it in the back.
Now.
Make sure they clap.
Now.
There you go. Now you're cheering alive. While still moving. Get the movement and clap. Keep going.
Now.
And time.
Return to your starting point.
So you guys have offense and you have retreating. The only other thing that you might want to work on, because we don't want our training to get so complicated that we're thinking about too much. So the last thing that I want you guys to work on is now think about blocking and then countering. Our block should always set up our counter. So one that I used to do is called threading the needle. So I throw a back fist, knowing that hopefully my back fist gets blocked. If it doesn't get blocked, well, that's cool because I still get a point. But let's say they block it. I want them to block it because what they'll use is their front hand. So if they go like this or they go like this, either way, that becomes open. So if I go here and they block it right as my hand gets blocked, boom, my other one comes out. So that's a block and a counter. Each of your moves can have a block and a counter to it. Some of them, the block and counter are put together. So for example, a rich hand, my block would be that hand. I would block and then counter with the rich. I might block, counter with the back punch. Block with my back hand, counter with the front hand. Block a kick with my front hand, throw my own kick. Whatever it is, you're just going to do one block and one kick, or sorry, one block and one attack back. If your block and attack feels slow, that means you're doing something weird. So for example, if I go block, reverse, front kick, that's going to feel awkward. That's probably not a good combination to use. Okay? 30 seconds. Block and counter. Go. And make sure you're still moving around. You wouldn't stand still in your sparring match. So you want to be doing it how you might move it. That doesn't mean you have to be constantly bouncing. But if I'm going to do, say, a block punch, I want to make sure that I block, punch, move forward, and then go back. Throw my moves like that.
Oh man, let me see. No complications. Ready and right. Which are your starting points? There you go. And the top. No preparation. All right. Ready? You two no longer have to do jumping jacks as long as you keep the class. Yes, ma'am. And start.
And time. All right, this last part is going to be as much freedom, quote unquote, as you're going to get. If you know how to control your ring, then for the most part, you will only really move linear, front and back. And that's if I'm doing a really good job making sure my opponent is moving how I want them, because I need all three of my judges to see. So I want my opponent to come right into me so I can get them with the move, or I'm going to be attacking right there so I can get them with the move. If I have to move around, then I am now changing the perception of the judges, which might make it harder for them to see my movements. So what you all are going to do is now try and throw your techniques, but you want to imagine maybe you can grab, if you have like 3 cups that you can go grab real quick, or you grab 2 pillows and you place them in the 3 spots. So I might say I put something here and I put something here, and I go, oh, okay, so those are my 2 judges and my camera is my 3rd judge. That means that whatever I throw, I want to make sure all 3 could see it. So if I throw an overhand back fist, well, my camera can see it, that judge can see it, and that judge can see it. If, however, I move like this, and now I throw a side kick, well, I can see in the camera that the camera can't see my side kick anymore. They might be able to know that my leg went out, but because I'm in the way, this person, you, the center judge, don't know if the other person blocked it, so you couldn't call that point. So I want to be constantly moving myself so that the 3 judges always see my techniques. So if you can go grab 2 things, set them up. You don't have to, you can visualize them. But then I want you to throw your moves with the idea that you want all three to be able to see it, or at the very least, two of the three. So for example, a round kick. I've got one there, one there. That round kick on my imaginary target gets seen. However, if I'm over here and I throw my round kick, I imagine I'm hitting my hand. Oh man, the judges won't necessarily see that one. You're gonna do that for 30 seconds. Go.
All right, how many times second? One time here, 2, 1, ready and foot. Where the timer go? Right. To the top. 2 points up here. Taylor, have you pressed yet? Yes, Taylor. Wait, no, you're hiring. Wait, you haven't been pressed yet. I'm done. Cody's done? He's smart. No, Cody's higher than Taylor. Oh, so far. All right, kids. Tension back to the seat. Are you ready?
Ready?
Are you ready? Okay. And fight!
Good.
Right! And stop! All right. 1, 2. 2. All right. So 1 point over here. You have 2. You have 1. 1 point over here and fight. Move, right, right, right. Okay. And okay.
Ready?
Fight.
Good.
Fight. And from top. 2 over here. We have 1 plus 2 equals 3 winner. Woo. I will kick you both out. It's Caleb's gonna come start. Oh, come on in. Caleb, come. There we go. Who has it side? Okay, you're going feet first. Side. Tension, bow, touch legs. That's right. Fight! What happened to the clapping? Time!
And time.
And
So, if you are going to be here at the tournament, these are some things you can do to warm up. If you're not going to be at the tournament, that's okay. The skills still apply. It's really good to find training skill sets that you don't have to just do one time, that they can keep being worked. These same things that you guys are doing for point sparring can apply to free sparring as well. You just have to change the rules. So rather than, having an offensive single move, you would have an offensive triple move. Rather than having a retreating one move, you might retreat, throw one move, and then cut an angle. You might do more than one block and counter if you're doing free sparring. Everything should tie itself together to something else, or at least be really close. That should be the time on that. We should be bowing up soon. While we wait for that last remaining bit, though, your goal before they come back over this spread back out, you might make it, you might not. Your number one move, and I keep saying this for me personally, because if you have a move that you really like to do, just like your forms, if you pick a form that you really like to do, and you really love that form, and you do that form morning, day, and night, that is going to probably be your best form. So a technique that you really like throwing, that's probably going to be the one that'll get you the most points because you've done it the most. Whatever that is, you're going to try and get 100 good reps with that technique. Meaning that I'm going to be here. Mine, I like, is a back fist, so I'm going to be here. 1, 2, I'm going to throw. I'm going to try at least to throw all 100 the same speed with the same technique. Now, as I get tired, I might slow down a bit. The one thing I don't want to lose is technique. So my number 1 back fist shouldn't look like that, and my number 99 back fist looks like this. That means I lost my discipline. So 100. Your goal is to try to get 100 of your number 1 technique before they're finished. Go.
All right, guys, face each other in the whole ring.
And remember to throw it like you would use it in your sparring.
All right, keep practicing. When you guys have tournaments, how many points does the round go to? Maddie. 5. 5. The round will go until 5 points, or okay, 2 minutes. Yes, ma'am. No. The ring will go to 5 points or 2 minutes. What happens is you're 4 points. 5 points scored first. Fantastic. That's what we want. Yes, ma'am. The timekeeper, scorekeeper, they're keeping time. Once 2 minutes is elapsed, the throw towel in the ring or the side judge. 2 minutes is gone. And the most
No, what happens if they're tired?
instant death. Next one. Yes, ma'am. All right. Yes. Next one wins. Never gonna happen.
Hey, you only have to take a knee if you hurt someone.
Sir.
So if you knock somebody over, you don't have to take a knee. If they're crying, that's when you take a knee.
You continue attacking at this moment, or you start?
Well, we don't have pads on the floor, so technically you can't. But if we had a padded ring, the rules do allow you 1 technique while they're on the ground. But you guys don't train that because we haven't had a padded ring in a real long time.
Sir.
Correct.
All right.
Now.
All right, and time.
Take off your head. Mouth, hands. Let me have Hunter come on up here. Hunter training his grace turkey sound with Master Bird as well as his karate practice log. Give him 1. Give him 2. And you rock.
You're up.
Let me have Logan come on up here. Logan's turning in his grace turn. Give him 1. Give him 2. And
You're up.
thank you for saying you Master Bird. All right. Let me have Maddox come on up here. Show us the grace strike.
Winning black belts have an overall attitude, personal optimism, and enthusiasm. Winners understand that life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The person usually gets what he or she actively expects over the long run. Winning black belts winners set high expectations for themselves and work to achieve those outcomes.
Give him 1. Give him 2. And you rock.
You're up.
He's also turning his karate practice log. All right, and Cody, come on up here. Cody said it's great to Master Brain, and he wants to teach little ninjas. That's a very specific goal. All right, give him 1 clap. Give him 2 claps. Say you rock.
You're up.
All right, let me have Lee come on up here.
Now.
Lee is turning in his gray stripe as well as karate practice log, saying it's Master Brain, and his goal is to be in the first place. All right, give him 1 clap. Give him 2 claps. Say you rock. Touches for you then. All right. They were online, I believe, last week, so they weren't able to get their stripes. Let me have Maddox, Hunter, and Lee come on up here. Purple stripes are being registered for the tournament. We say woohoo! Tournament is on Saturday. The rings were emailed today. So
I got the level 1 for racing.
okay, we'll have to double check on that one. I believe also be being posted on the app by tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go. If absolutely necessary, if you don't see your ring, check in at check-in on Saturday. Yes, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Please have your rings. Yes, sir.
Where's the tournament at?
Thornton Middle School.
Thank you, ma'am.
There you go. All right, thank you guys. Give one,
Yeah.
two, woohoo! Oh. Thanks, sir. Thursday tomorrow. Last day. Intense promotes. Free strike. Any strike. Tomorrow is the last day to earn any of your stripes for this testing cycle. Yes, ma'am?
Yeah, ma'am.
So make sure you guys are getting those done if you haven't already. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you already do. Hands behind back.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Tournament Saturday, Thornton Middle School. Check your email for your ring. Is that everything? That's everything. Oh, wish prep cycle. Good luck. They have their tests on Friday. Yes, ma'am?
Ma'am.
All right. Hands behind back.
Ma'am.
Black belt creed.
As a dedicated student of the martial arts, I live my life by principles that honesty, courtesy, integrity, Christ and self-control and calm spirit.
Congress. Flat and proud position.
Ma'am, my wrong is best, ma'am. Outside.
Leadership pens, notebooks. Coaches, you need help writing, which I don't think neither one of you guys do at this point. Go.
Yes.
Ma'am.
Kellen, do you have a question? Are you oh, you're not frozen because I see you moving. Do you have your pen and notebook, Kellen? There you go.
I forgot this at home, so I just refilled it out. Is it okay for Cody to turn it in after class?
You guys are available to come in earlier in the day.
I'll come look and see when
Still wet too.
I'm assuming somebody said.
All right, so these are the last of your written notes before you head back to, before you be with your coaches again, or everything resets back to the beginning.
Sir.
So, this is about teaching. So that's the subject that we're covering today is teaching. And these are just the 3 steps or 3 things that you need to make sure that you follow when teaching. The first one is the process. This is the process. The process, if you guys remember from your leadership in level 2, the law of the process, is the steps that you should be taking to get your student to have the information. The first one, now I have it written down in a line, so the first one, arrow over to the second one. However you're going to remember it, however help you remember it, doesn't matter to me as long as you got it down. First thing you're going to do of the process is demonstrate. If I'm going to show a side kick, I'm going to demonstrate a side kick. And I'm going to demonstrate I feel like I shouldn't have to say it, but if you need to put it in your notes, you need to demonstrate at the level that you want it done, or the level that you want them to attempt it at. So if I'm teaching you a side kick, and I go, all right, guys, we're learning a side kick today. It's going to go like this, and this is their first time as a student, that's what they're going to copy. That's why you cannot demonstrate that way, either as a teacher or when you're assisting class. That's why we're so hard on you. You guys have been talked to about how you're performing something in class. Is because you need to be demonstrating it at a level that those below you want to be like you. So it needs to be your highest. The second step after you've demonstrated is teaching. Literally just showing them what the moves are, step by step. The third, say that again. Teaching. The third step is watch. This is so that you can catch the mistakes before they become permanent. The example that I've given numerous times now is the wrong leg at the very first part that I was teaching. Go back and fix it right away, and I had to spend like 2 weeks getting them to undo that wrong step. When somebody's in a mode of learning, they're like a sponge. They just soak everything up right away. So you want to make sure that any corrections you make, and in general, there's a book that talks about it that we talked about as instructors called 1 Minute Manager. If you're going to make a correction on something, you don't wait 6 months to tell somebody that they messed up. You got to fix it right then and there. Yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Especially if at your level, there are consequences for your actions. You can't know that somebody did something wrong and then wait 3 weeks to punish them for that thing that they did wrong. You need to make sure that everything is happening right then and there so that the changes can happen when you want them to happen. Yes?
Yes, sir.
After you've watched, I sort of mix them together, but after you watched is when you make your corrections. Your corrections are going to depend highly on the skill level of the class that you're in. Beginners, basic, people that are white or are white tops that are white, gold, orange, green, blue, and purple, those that are still in basic, they are kindergartners of martial arts. Would you get mad at a kindergartner for not knowing how to do algebra?
No, sir.
No, because they're learning how to do 1 + 1. So the things that I correct with somebody that's in basic are going to be basic. Hey, make sure your hands stay up. Oh, that knee needs to be pointed. I don't need to give them my dissertation on why you need to pull your hand in when you do an outside block and make sure you see your palm. That information is important, but it's not important right there. The same way that you wouldn't try to teach a kindergartner algebra. Yes?
Sir. Sir.
Your level and above, however, because you should know how to do the basics, can take the more refined details, or that's what you should be fixing.
Sir.
After you correct, you repeat. And you literally do that one after the other until each move is done. And we'll get to that when we get there. So you demonstrate, you teach, you watch, correct, repeat. So if I take that same example as a side kick, all right, we're going to learn a side kick. This is what it's going to look like. I'm going to show it. Then I'm going to go through the steps. All right, so step 1, everybody top your leg. We're going to pivot up. We're going to make that table. Step 2, we're going to punch like we're doing a punch. Step 3, bring it in. 4, we set it down. Then I'm going to watch my class or my student do those moves. Any part that they make a mistake, that's when I fix it. And then I repeat until, and you'll learn that until when? In a second. Number 2 of teaching. Write down chunking in chunks, pieces of the pie, one at a time. Whatever other analogies you need to use to know that you need to do it, one step at a time. The visual I like to think of is if I have a cake. I really love cake. I haven't had cake in a while, and I'm thinking about it now because I said cake, but I love cake. If I took a cake and I did this, I'm going to eat all my cake.
No, sir.
I'm going to get some of it, but I'm not going to get all of it. That's exactly what happens when you try to teach somebody too much information. You want to cut a piece of the cake, put it on the plate, and once they finish that piece, then I'll go, oh, you want some more cake? Okay. And then I'm going to cut another piece, and I'm going to give them that one. And then if they start rubbing their belly and they give me that look like I can't eat any more cake, that's exactly when I stop. Yes?
Sir.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
Everybody is going to be able to eat cake at different levels. Some people might be able to eat a lot of cake. Some people might only be able to eat a little bit of cake, and then that's it. That is going to be dependent on the student. That's why you have to be paying attention to it.
Sir.
And the last one, number 3. You don't move on until what's taught is correct. You need to like underline, add exclamation point, arrow, explosion, glitter, whatever you need to do, that part is super important. You do not move on until what's taught is correct. And this is where your patience as a teacher comes in. If I have to spend a half hour to get somebody to do a reverse the proper way, I'm going to spend a half hour to get somebody to do a reverse the proper way. The same reason that the basics are so important over here is because if I don't know how to properly do a down block, I can't do Chun-Ji in level 1. If I can't do Chun-Ji in level 1, am I going to do Chun-Mu in level 3?
Yes, sir.
Everything happens in steps for a reason. So that's why it's so important that you make sure that the steps are done and they're not moved on until they're done correctly. So I want you to take, we have 4 minutes left. I want you to take one move and I want you to write your step, I want you to write yourself a lesson plan of how you would teach it. It doesn't have to be in depth. I don't write in-depth lesson plans because I don't need to, so this is always going to be on how you work as a teacher. But I want you to take a move and I want you to go through the steps. So you're going to write down what move you're going to do. You're going to write down how you're going to demonstrate it. Then I want you to write down the steps. So when I say the steps, I mean, how are you teaching it? If I'm doing a down block, I need to show them the chamber. Then the right hand goes. What does the left hand do? Am I adding a stance? I need to know all of this. Then I'm going to write down what am I going to be looking for that specific move. If they're doing a down block, do I need to worry about where their foot is pivoted at? No, but I do need to worry about where their pinky or how they're doing their hand placement. And that's it. So take that because it's not there. Once you have to repeat, then what you would prep would change. So write down the move, how you would teach it, what are the steps of that move, and what you're going to specifically look for. Now, this is just a piece of advice, but whatever you write down, in theory, after testing, could be what you use to teach your coach. So you'll already have what you're going to do, so you won't have to make it up on the spot. You can do that, or if you really want to, you can give yourself a challenge and try to make it up as you go. I would suggest if you're just learning, however, not to do that. If you have any questions about what's the focus, just so you guys know, what you should be looking for is basics. If you end up having a coach that's in karate with you, then the instructor will give you different parameters. But hopefully you're using somebody that doesn't know how to do martial arts or is very new to martial arts. So the things you're focusing on are very beginner. Are their hands, legs, and eyes in the right spot? Are they standing up strong? Things like that. All right, that's it. After you have that written down, or well, you have 30 more seconds to write it down. Otherwise, clean your square and you guys are dismissed.
Yes, sir.
Read it. Are we dismissed yet?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome, ma'am. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. it is.
Master
Square,
Burton,
okay. Yes, ma'am.
should I send in the gray stripe him reciting it, or do you want to do it over the screen?
It would probably be better for you to send it in, because technically
Okay.
the next class should be
Okay.
starting soon.
Okay, I'll send in the pictures too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye.
What did you say?
Oh,
Well, there's specific times you should square up, yes. But there's also times when you shouldn't square up. Cody. Oh, I need to mark it down. You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
See you, Kel.